Hello, it's Nikki. How you doing? Today I want to talk about growth and progressing and moving forward, and that it's not always as straightforward as you might think. So a lot of internet marketers, they want to talk about like just up level, just do these three things, just have a positive mindset and you'll just smash your goals. And there's so much more to it. I'm sorry to disappoint you. And if you're like, what? I've just bought this course and they just promised me that I'd be able to do all of the things and now it's not worked. Wah! I'm sorry, but a lot of the things you're probably doing already. So I want to liken this growth to climbing trees. So when you were a kid, I remember there was this moment for us. We used to have these, I don't know why they were there or where they came from, but in our school playground, we had these like massive pipes. So they were made out of concrete and they were these huge cylinders, so taller than us, but there was a way that you could be able to put your foot in a little thing. So there were two joined together and then one separate. So the first thing was like, oh my goodness, can I actually go on the pipes that were two together? And then like the biggest skill was like, can I make the transfer, being able to get there? And I was quite short for my age, and I think I didn't even get onto the second thing until I was about year 6 because I managed to grow a little bit. But yeah, that was a big moment. So it's kind of like that in business. Whenever you do a course or you watch something and suddenly or you learn from somebody else, you might have all that motivation, all that excitement, all that sense of possibility, like, oh, I could do this, maybe I could do this, maybe I could build that, perhaps this could be an online course, maybe I could package my services up in that way, maybe that is possible for me. Absolutely, all of these things are possible for you. And it's that moment, I guess, of you discovering these brand new trees or these brand new things that you're going to climb. Like, yeah, oh, great. Oh, this is all happening. Oh, they're already made. The technology, it's all there and I'm good to go. And then what might happen, as often it does, is as soon as you make that decision to start exploring or moving forward, you'll get an inquiry. So quite often you'll get a booking, or somebody will love what you do, or there's some kind of call to action, like somebody will almost respond to you in that way. So that often happens. Like, I know when I suddenly make a big payment for something, quite often I'll then get paid for something else. I don't know, I can't explain the physics of it, but often that's the way that it happens. But what can happen in our business growth is sometimes when that quick, snappy, like, yes, I would like to work with you, what you might find yourself doing is going, maybe it was just a fluke. Maybe it was just something that I did once. And actually, once you start to play in other forests, climbing other things, you know where the analogy's going, you start to notice your gaps. And sometimes that can be a moment of like, oh my goodness, I'm really disorganized. And I'm saying I want to have new clients and new clients are coming in, but actually I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I'm feeling like I can't cope with the capacity. I'm feeling really stressed. I'm losing sleep. You might notice your gaps in terms of you're going back and forth and you need to be more organized or more streamlined in a different way. And sometimes what can happen is that we can see it from like a sign from the universe or a sign from whatever you believe in, like, oh my goodness, all of this feels very stressful now. All of this feels really complicated. Am I actually going to be able to fulfill that work? And then very quickly what you can start to do is go into a mindset of, maybe I shouldn't be playing in these, like on these bigger trees. Maybe I should just stick. Maybe I should go back. I'm going to go back and stick with what I know, because these gaps that are now being revealed to me, these like downfalls, they're revealing to me that perhaps I shouldn't have even been there in the first place. I was allowed there for a day, a couple of days to play with the big guys, the big kids, but actually I should go back to where I started. And I'm going to call that out because it's an old story. It's an old story that will have you believe that you shouldn't be doing what you want to do. Because quite often, most people will tell you like, oh no, it does sound complicated actually, or you shouldn't be doing this, or you know, this is just the way that it is. So all these kind of stories where your gaps are, we can suddenly get sucked up by what we've been conditioned for. And the main thing that I guess I want you to take away from this video is when you have growth, you will be starting to turn up the brightness of all aspects of what is actually going on. And sometimes it can be quite painful. Sometimes you're like squinting and going, oh, my eyes, that really hurts. I don't want to look at the numbers. I don't want to look at what I haven't done before. And like, oh my goodness. And you know, you find yourself going into being a bit self-sabotagey, or you know, being unkind to yourself, like beating yourself up because you haven't done all of the things that you've only just figured it out. And actually what you can just do is just enjoy like turning a light on something and going, okay, cool. So here's where we are. Here's what's going on. Here's where I really need to work. Here's an area that has suddenly had this light being shone on it, that there's more work to be done. So wherever you can, and come and look at it from a logical point of view, and I know that's really hard, instead of taking the emotion and that it's not meant for me, maybe I shouldn't, all of this is crap, I can't believe I thought that this was a possibility, just notice it and go, right, okay. And then this is when the moment comes of the brilliant open questions. So what do I need to do now? What's the next step? And sometimes when I've had those moments, it's like, I really need help with this. I need to change technology. And by asking those open questions, it starts to move you into the moves that you need to make. And suddenly, as you start to do that, it starts to build up rhythm and momentum, and you start moving forward. And then suddenly what you'll find you're doing is you're climbing those bigger kid trees again and again, and it becomes more normal. So you start to normalize that process, those big successes, those things that were like your next goals, it's starting to become much more comfortable. So I don't know if you've ever done yoga or things like that. Sometimes you might start, and I know my yoga teacher does this, like she might have 3 grades. Like if you're feeling like this, or you're just a beginner, do this. If you're a bit more experienced, do this version. If you're a bit more experienced or advanced, I'm never advanced, but do this kind of variation. And what you can find is the more that you work at those things, the more that you practice them, and the more that you, I guess, come into the conversation or the space or the headspace that you need and go, I'm just going to be here. I'm just going to be here and figure it out and just ease into it. That's when you'll start to see those results. So even though your temptation or your inner child or your inner voice wants to go, no, this is terrible. Why did I even think this was a good idea? Notice that. Sometimes that's the first stage, just noticing that and then making the moves going forward. I would love to hear what resonates with you, and maybe what your next trees that you want to climb are, and what does that look like, and what is the help that you need. And if I can help you, I absolutely will. You can book a free 15-minute session with me. Come on over to my website. Have a read through first, because I don't work with everybody one-to-one, but have a read through. And if there's stuff there that resonates, let's have a conversation and chat more. Thanks so much for listening, for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.